Hello, namaste. Today I want to talk about the basics of astral projection. So, you may be wondering what astral projection is, how to do it, or just looking for some other people with experience because it's an odd phenomenon. It's a very different thing that happened to most people in this generation, but it's happening quite a lot. So it's understandable to be searching for answers. Well, ever since I was a kid, I'd had experiences where I would kind of pop out of my body at night, not be able to touch anything, freak out, and not be able to turn the lights on because I was scared. I didn't know what it was. There's a time before that, though, when I was like an even smaller kid in elementary school, that what would happen is I'd go ahead and I'd just like have a bunch of fun with it. I'd just pick my legs up and I'd float around. I'd play at recess when nobody else was at recess because, well, they were at recess, but like it's difficult to explain. I was playing at recess with everybody and whatnot when it was nap time in kindergarten, and it happened quite often. And there was a lot to explore in that state. A lot undiscovered. A lot still undiscovered. Who's that? They look back at me. But it's important that we continue searching about these types of things. About astral projection, about whatever it may be that when you were a kid you remember having like a certain type of experience. So what brought me into the world of astral projection is my childhood and my father talking about how when he practiced meditation, practiced a whole bunch of stuff like Kundalini, awakening and yoga and whatnot. I don't think he specifically practiced Kundalini yoga, but he practiced yoga a little bit. At least the mind aspect of yoga. So I, personally, taking up in my father's footsteps, sought out what this practice was. I sought for guides. I looked for people's stories. I looked for someone to relate to, someone that could help me achieve it. And what I found was there's a whole community online now of people who know how to astral project, who do, and who teach others. And I'm here to add to that tradition. Tradition, I guess, because it is a Hindu, Buddhist, and Taoist practice that if you read quite a bit of literacy by them, it is depicted. It's also become a Western practice now too. So I'm just adding to the culture, I guess you could say. One of the main things I can say about astral projection is that it's a natural phenomenon that happens completely normally. It's not like it's induced, it's not like invoked, it's not a ritual, it's not artificial in any sense of the matter. If it was artificial, then there'd be some sort of process you have to do before going into the astral realm. There'd have to be some sort of catalyst to cause you to enter that state. Just like how drugs take you into or psychedelics take you into the psychedelic state. You have to have a catalyst. It has to be a mushroom, ayahuasca, something like that. This does not require any of that. Same with like those Christian rituals, Catholic rituals, and satanic rituals, and like going to church, and that's a ritual to be like one with God and whatnot, commune with them. This happens in your sleep every single night, but we're just not aware of it. Truly, I don't believe anybody knows what astral projection is. Anybody here is simply woke up here one day and noticed that strange things happen sometimes, and that you can practice said strange things or develop practices for said strange things. Damn. There's a big old skeeter on my arm. They're eating me up out here. I'm gonna keep moving because they are going to destroy me if I don't. Gosh. Wow. So, astral projection can simply be defined as a state of awareness past the body. Simply, you are in what can most likely be described, or you are experiencing what can be described as an energy body. The body of energy that controls your physical body, that gives movement to it, that is active in the mind, like when we use our neurons, the electricity in our minds that moves throughout our bodies when we say action, using our brains, using our neurons and our thoughts, right? It's a state of energy we are accessing, just like normal physical state, but this state is less physical. It's very difficult to comprehend, and most people have struggle with entering this state because they're used to being in a physical state the most time, forever. Right? That's called material bondage, and Hinduism and Buddhism speak upon this, being a slave to the material aspect, because that's all you know, that's all you think you know, right? Astral projection is a very liberating tool. It can get you out of your comfort zone. It can cause you to become fearless in order to be able to explore many different places. It can gain you confident. It can help with the law of attraction, with communication with the universe, finding divine purpose. It's a very beautiful thing that happens every single night that most people aren't aware of. It's important also to make sure you are aware of it, to eat healthy. Your awareness, all your senses, even your ones that are non-physical, are dictated by the stuff you put in your body and the stuff you eat, non-physically and physically. Because some fruit may have better what's called prana, which is life energy and more vibrant energy, than, let's say, a steak, because that's dead energy. It's not as vibrant. There's not all faculties of energy in there. There's just a bit. And then there's some, whatever diseases the cow got and or had, and whatever diseases rotting causes, right? Gosh, these skeeters. So it's important to be aware, and by being aware, you need to eat healthily so you can access this dimension of yourself. Eat healthy. Make sure you stay hydrated. If it sounds like I'm panting, it's because I just went on a bike ride. Make sure you don't drink fluoride, or fluoridic water. Don't know if that's a word, but I'm gonna use it because it calcifies what's called the pineal gland, and that's actually scientifically proven. There's documents upon documents, studies upon studies, and it said that the pineal gland is one of the main reasons as to why you astral project sometimes. It is also important that what must happen for you to astral project is you must be aware. You, the part that is you divinely, must be aware. Well, the body is also divine, and you must rest. You must be without a body. You must get used to a feeling of being as light as air, which is actually a technique. I personally reviewed many practitioners and people who taught it through YouTube videos, through blogs, through social media. Although where I'm at, there are not many people who are personally teaching it. So I had to look mostly online, and that might be the case for many of you. I do not know specific science of astral projection. I don't think anybody does. There's not enough testing that has been done. All I know is that there have been studies that prove that's real. I do not know about what... I know that Masons, specifically in the Masonic library that I have books upon the geometry and the construction of whatever the body is that you use when you astral project. It's important not to eat before you want to astral project, because that will cause the body to be restless while digesting food. It's important to not drink either, because that'll make you have to pee in the middle of it. You should find a time in the morning, if possible, when this, like around 4 a.m., 5 a.m., when the sun is just barely coming up, or when it is still down, and your body, you can get awake. You can do something like read a book for a half hour, and then because your body will still have those sleeping chemicals in it from sleepy time, from nighttime, you'll be able to go ahead and astral project easier. Because one of the best times a day is early in the morning to do it, or at midnight after you came back from work or whatever you were doing in the day, and you kind of just settled down, gotten calm, you're ready for the body to go to sleep, and you have a natural want and or desire to go ahead and project at this moment. The key to it is awareness, though. The reason why most people fail is because they do it at night and their bodies are sleepy, along with their minds being exhausted. When entering the astral world, you should always keep in mind that good and bad are the same as here. There's people who are good, and there's people who are bad.
The feeling of wholeness is a different feeling than meanness.
This mattering is to me a human construct. The one thing, like people talk about depression all the time, the difference between depression and sadness is just, from happenstance, whatever happened or didn't happen for you, or grief or whatever it is. And depression is your body saying, fuck you, I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to hold up this avatar that you've created. in the world. It's too much for me.
Right. I thought to myself, okay,
I realized, hey, wait a second, you know, if
what
it's
can
so
I do
easy to lose
differently
Jim
this
Carrey,
time
who the
around?
hell is Jim Carrey?
Why don't we just